How's it going? Welcome to NateChrony. I'm Nate and, well, this is a Chrony. So as any air gunner knows, a chronograph is a vital piece of equipment. Whether or not you're doing some performance and tuning work, making sure you're getting the best accuracy and consistency out of your rig, you're doing some hunting work, you make sure you've got enough power and energy to have a humane kill, or whether or not in places like the UK, you want to make sure you're under a certain power limit to comply with the law. So this is where a chronograph is going to be the piece of equipment that you need. So the first challenge is going to be cost. Now, if we look at something like in Australia, getting set up with a PCP rifle, not this Zabroya, but if you look at something like an FX here in Australia, you're going to be spending about $2,500 to $3,500 for the rifle. You then want to add a bit of glass on top, another couple of $100. You're going to have to pump it up, another couple of $100 for the pump, maybe a scuba tank, another couple of $100 again. So we want to make sure here at NateChrony that the chronograph is affordable. So this is typically about 1/3 of the cost of most other chronographs. So our goal here is to get every single air gunner to purchase one Nate chronograph for life. Now the thing's made to be durable. It doesn't have a screen, it doesn't have a battery in it. You're going to be able to throw it at the bottom of your box. Whether or not you're going to be doing a lot of chronograph work, maybe you do a few sessions of testing, you're not going to use the thing for another year or so. If that's got a lithium battery in it and it goes flat, you could kill the battery for good. That means that you're then going to have to go and buy a proprietary battery, which costs a lot, maybe servicing costs. None of that. Doesn't have a battery, doesn't have a screen. It's not going to break if you're going to throw it around the bottom of a box. It gets beaten up a little bit. It is going to be there to last a lifetime. So one of the other challenges is registering the shots. So we look at systems like radar-based systems or the shoot-through systems with the little sun visors. Getting reliable shot registering, it can be a challenge. It's especially painful with things like PCPs. You're shooting, you miss a shot, you're out of air, you've got to stop your work, you've got to pump it up, you've got to come back, you miss a shot. Super, super frustrating. So the NateChrony is a barrel mounted design. It fits on the end of the barrel. If anything leaves the barrel, it has to go through the sensors, it has to register. So super, super reliable in terms of registering shots. It's a very simple design, nothing fancy. In terms of accuracy, we have put it back to back with radar-based systems over about 880 feet per second, 12-shot string. The average difference between this and a $1,600 radar solution was 1.16 feet per second. So we are happy with the accuracy. Again, having that reliability of shot registering also helps a lot. We are looking at getting some certification and validation of the accuracy early next year, but side by side, we've put it against the radar, we've put them through the shoot-throughs, and it performs beautifully. The other good thing about this is if you're going to the range and doing some work, a lot of ranges will have a bench set up, which is about 1 meter, 3 foot or so long. If you've got a shoot-through system, you're sort of hanging off the back over the edge of the table, trying to shoot through it. You've got to line everything up. You then got to make sure that you're on target. Safety can be a concern. You're trying to line it up here. Where's your muzzle pointing? And again, we don't have a screen on this, other like some other units that have been around. So you're not having to range sweep everyone to look at a screen that is on the unit. So super convenient at ranges to do a lot of testing as well. So how does the thing actually work? Doesn't have a screen, doesn't have a battery. So you look in your pocket, or what you've got in your hand right now is probably one of these. It's got a battery and it has a screen. So why would I sell you a device with a battery and a screen? You've already got one, let's use it. So again, that helps us to keep the cost down, nothing proprietary, nothing fancy. If your screen breaks, you're gonna get another phone, you're always gonna have a working screen and battery. We'll use it. So, connects and powers up via USB, just for power. You can also use obviously a tablet, or you can use a USB power bank. USB powered, plugs in the bottom. Use our beautiful magnetic USB cables. If something happens, you trip, not a problem, nothing breaks, it's sweet. So powered via USB, it creates a little Wi-Fi hotspot that you can connect to. Alternatively, you can configure it to join an existing Wi-Fi network as well. Both systems work. Once you're up and running, you simply connect to a web page. Now again, for cost and also for security and data privacy, There is no app. That means that we don't have to hire some software, some security people to make sure that privacy controls, GDPR is adhered to. It is a simple web page where you go and get data sent. Super simple, super clean. We don't want your data. We don't want access to anything on your mobile phone. So once you get your NateChrony in the gorgeous box, you power it up. There's a QR code as well, which has the address for the site. It's also written here on the circuit board for the NateChrony. So you connect to the Wi-Fi, go to this address, bang, you are up and running. So if we look at the Chrony here, we've got a tablet. We power it up. We can connect the Chrony. We've got the beautiful little red power light right there. We go to the settings, networks, internet. We can see that we've got the Chrony network there. We can connect to the Chrony network. And then we open up a web browser. We recommend Chrome because it's easy. You can sort of save the web page like an app. And you can type in the address here. We've been here before to the NateChrony. Bang, there we are, we're up and running. We can start to do testing. You've got your screen, you've got your battery, you've got your chronograph, you're set up and running. So that's the basics of how the Chrony works, all the bits and pieces that you need, everything that you need to get up and running. The next challenge is going to be, will it fit my rifle? So the NateChrony, let's look at the parts that make up the Chrony. Comes with two adapters. We've got the regular adapter. It's got some really nice, big, thick, heavy tabs. In Australia, it doesn't snow much, but we realize it may snow elsewhere in the world. So yes, you've got gloves on, your fingers are cold. You want some good meaty tabs to be able to grip onto. So you've got the regular adapters. We also have a slimline adapter. If you've got something like a bullpup, the gap between the pressure cylinder and the barrel could be very, very minimal. That's going to help with that. A little bit less on the tab, still enough to grip, but that'll help if you've got some minimal clearance between the air cylinder and also the barrel there. So they come with two adapters, half UNF, which is your standard threaded barrel. What happens if I don't have a threaded barrel? So we do have some variable. They look a bit chunky, they look a bit wacky, they're 3D printed. You can put any unthreaded smooth barrel into this, tweak it up with the little thumb screws, and that goes, and you're up and running. The other thing that we're going to do, I don't want to be the single point of failure. There's going to be things like target rifles, things like biathlon rifles that have different barrel ends. So we're going to open source the adapters. There will be information on the web page of how to make an adapter, different designs, how you can actually make a 3D printed adapter for your particular rifle. So if anyone anywhere in the world makes an adapter for your specific muzzle that works with the NateChrony, you can download it, you can print it. If you're a good engineer, designer, and you've got a 3D printer, maybe you can make some adapters for the NateChrony and sell them. Absolutely open to that. I want to make sure that, as said, every single person can buy one NateChrony for life. We want to make sure that we're not going to be the restriction to make sure it works with your particular rifle. So the adapters are going to be open source. The NateChronies are nice and affordable. Let's talk colors. So by default, you've got Cool Cat Jet Black. So it is a clear bottom that helps you to see the power on light to make sure that you know that your chronograph is up and running. There it is there. You can also see it through the other colors as well. If you're always losing stuff, we've got a beautiful bright orange as well. So you're losing stuff, awesome. You got one for the girlfriend, you bought her a nice set of heels, you want to get her a NateChrony, Christmas is around the corner. We have a beautiful, nice, deep cherry red as well. Just make sure, as usual, the wife does not find out. So 3 different colors. We may release more colors in the future. If you want a specific color, reach out to us, we'll see if we can do some limited edition runs as well. So they are 3D printed. So they do look a little bit, yeah, that helps us to keep the costs down. This is going to be the first version of the product. We can pretty much guarantee there is going to be feedback from you to say, can you add this? Can you change that? By 3D printing, it helps keep the costs down. Again, for us, for you, we can rapidly change that design, add features, add enhancements, and make the NateChrony better. So welcome to the NateChrony. That's a quick showcase of what the NateChrony is. Enjoy the rest of the videos and get shooting.